first introduced to this new Z car back in 2023, and I don't think I'm alone in thinking it's one of the best looking Z cars that Nissan has ever made. It's a really charming mix of the original 240Z, and it's got some styling cues from the later stuff like the 300ZX, which I think is a really cool combination, and it's really befitting of this kind of retro future modern era that we're in of car design. Design first. We've got a redesigned front end. It's a little bit lower profile, which is just going to help to reduce drag. We've also got a redesigned front grille with wider mesh, which again, Nissan say helps to reduce drag but doesn't inhibit the cooling factor of that air coming up through into the engine. Indeed, cooling is one of the ways that Nissan managed to extract some extra horsepower out of this engine. More on that later. Continuing on with the aerodynamics, we've got canards at the front which help to disperse the air away from those front wheels, and we've also got a wider, taller rear wing which just helps to add a little bit of extra downforce over those powered rear wheels. Initially, you could buy the Z as either a Sport Edition or a Performance Edition. Now, for 2024, we have the Nismo Edition. Nismo, of course, standing for Nissan Motorsport. And with that in mind, all of the changes that have been made with performance, and specifically track performance, in mind. But here's the thing. In the pursuit of all these performance upgrades, this car got expensive. In fact, it's a lot more expensive than most of its rivals. So the question is it worth it? So then, performance was the name of the game when it came to making this Nismo edition of the Z. Let's do this. Let's change it from drive to manual. Now we've got these flappy pedals behind the steering wheel which we can use, and also let's change the engine mode from standard to Sport Plus. See if this Nismo is indeed a new performance C car. Power is fed to those rear wheels via a 9-speed automatic transmission. Of course, in the regular Z, you can get a 6-speed manual, but no such luck here, unfortunately. It's 9-speed auto or nothing. I imagine that's because an automatic regular Z would have been quicker around the track than a manual Nismo, but who cares? Woo, there it is. Power. Peak power is delivered all the way from 2000 to a little over 5,300 RPM. And there's a quite remarkable lack of turbo lag. They've done a really good job of nipping that in the bud. So yeah, you can get this Nismo going pretty rapidly. And it sort of doesn't matter where you are in the rev range if you need an extra boost. Wow. You can get one. Woo! Nissan have gone to great length to firm up both the suspension, chassis strengthening, and some revised dampers which are specific to this Nismo model. Give the car a very direct ride. It's certainly firm. I didn't find it to be too firm on the roads coming in here. It wasn't too uncomfortable, but it certainly is a sports car. There's no mistaking that. We've also got revised, slightly uprated brakes, wider rear wheels, and sticky Dunlop summer compound tires. The Nismo features unique strengthening bars on both ends, revised dampers, firmer spring rate. It also features electronic steering. It's the first Z car to have that. Previously, of course, they've all been rack and pinion. And the steering is one of the bones of contention that we found with this car. It's a touch light. I don't think it's too light, but it could certainly be heavier. That said, you get a good amount of road feedback through it. Nissan claim that All of these changes to the suspension and the steering have been in aid of creating what they call a one-shot steering operation. The idea being, of course, that you should be able to predictably turn in with this car and not have to adjust your steering mid-corner. And I've got to say, it is one of the more well-balanced, stable cars that I've driven. Very impressive. The Nismo benefits from some nice upgrades on the interior too. We've got red anodized start button here, and same with the drive mode. We've got these nice manually adjustable Recaro seats. They're a bit of a throwback, aren't they? Some Alcantara line steering wheel with this little red notch here signifying 12. From the driver's seat, the ride feels good. The seat hugs you in nicely. The steering wheel's at a great position. Pedals are nicely offset. Beyond that, the only other criticism I have of the Autobox, which functions fantastically, is the switchgear. Look at this little thing here. I don't know, it looks like an old school desktop mouse. Now, of course, I have the obligatory digital dash in front of me, and it's infinitely customizable. You can kind of modulate it and put any bit of information anywhere you want on the screen, pretty much. We've also got quite a lot going on the steering wheel for a sports car, but such is life, I suppose. We've got another touch screen down here, a nice little 9-inch digital display, which has CarPlay and all those sorts of things. Physical controls down here for my heating, air conditioning, that's nice. And of course, look at this trio of gauges for the boost pressure, boost speed, and of course the voltmeter for the battery. That's a nice old school touch, we like that. It looks good, it sounds good, it drives really rather well. With this, Nissan has done a really good job of modernizing the car without losing its soul, without losing that inherent C-car quality, playfulness, spirit that we all know and love. Overall though, we really like this car. We think that Nissan have done a great job of blend the heritage of Z-cars past, add a little dash of GTR goodness, and make a car which I have a feeling is going to be around for a little while to come.